Sugar Hill, a lot of credit to Andy Lee. Fantastic tactic going into the fight, and it was a brilliant performance. Now, one of the great British performances of all time, and he battered Deontay Wilder. Let's have it right. It wasn't that Wilder was in the fight. Wilder didn't look right from the get-go. I think Fury probably did his head in the build-up. I mean,
Eddie.hearn is a bitch. Tell him I said that.
If he couldn't beat me when I was only 50% the man I am today, then he never had a chance tonight. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity, and can't wait for the next fight, the rematch, hopefully, if he wants it.
The trilogy between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder is scheduled to take place in July, likely July 18th. Matchroom Boxroom promoter Eddie Hearn thinks that money is going to hold back this trilogy because he thinks Fury will make less in the trilogy than he made in the last fight. And I can understand where Eddie Hearn's coming from because Tyson Fury dominated in the rematch. So a lot of people going in don't think Deontay Wilder has a chance to win the trilogy unless they're Deontay Wilder fanboys or they're a pro-black channel. I personally thought the best scenario for Wilder was to take the step-aside money, get with Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn, make sure they're guaranteed contract to face the winner. That way you get the 15 to 20 million step-aside money, and then you get a chance at all four belts to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But for some reason, he doesn't want to do that. But Eddie Hearn agrees with Deontay Wilder. He said if I was his promoter, I would tell him to do the same thing and take the rematch with Fury. The last fight did 800 to 850 pay-per-view buys. Bob Arum predicted 2 million. That didn't happen. And Eddie Hearn's predicting the trilogy would do 400,000 pay-per-view buys. That would be half as much as the rematch did. Eddie Hearn points out Wilder and Fury is a big fight, just not as big as the rematch was. But he said if Wilder happens to pull off a miracle and wins the fight, he has a deal in place for Wilder too. Whether it's Fury or Wilder, AJ wants that WBC belt. That's what it comes down to. In other boxing news, is Tyson Fury facing a ban from boxing? Last video, we was talking about the accusations against Tyson Fury. There are allegations out there saying that a member of Tyson Fury's team tried to pay a farmer off to cover a failed drug test by Tyson Fury in 2015. I think the sum of $30,000. These are just accusations. I'm just leave it at that. If they investigate it, we'll see what happens. If they don't investigate it, I guess it wasn't much behind it. What I did tell you was going to happen, all these pro Deontay Wilder channels was going to make all these false narratives. Tyson Fury getting banned. Tyson Fury going to prison. Tyson Fury is a cheat. He cheated in a fight. They are so butthurt that Deontay Wilder got the brakes beat off of him. They're going to make up anything. The best advice I can give you is wait for all the facts to come out, then you can draw your own conclusion.